Glog. Echo. In Glog's tribe, there were nearly many people as Glog had fingers and toes. There was Mum Bum, Wombi, Pog, Bob, Dum Dum, Tub, Ging, Old Slug, Fluff, Puff, Bob, Puff, Spling, Spuck, Baby Glue, and a few more, as well as Glog himself. Glog. One morning, when the sun was still at the bottom of the sky, Glog was walking by a pug. "Come," said Wombi. He pulled Glog up. "Take," said Mum Bum. She pointed. Everyone stood and stretched and began to collect things together. Glog's tribe often had to move on. They had to find new animals to hunt and new plants to eat. They had to find more wood for their fires. This time, they had to find a good place to stay for the winter. Glog got up and put all his things onto his sleeping floor. He had a stick that looked like a bird. He had a stone with a hole in the middle. He had a big feather from an eagle. "Come," said Wombi. Wombi pointed to where the sun was growing up from the ground like a pumpkin. The day was moving, but Glog wasn't. "Coming," said Glog. The other was already on their way. Old Slug was carrying Ging. Dum Dum was carrying Baby Glue. Pug and Bug were carrying spears. Spuck was carrying a sling of arrowheads. Fluff was carrying a bow. Tub and Bob and Spling and Bob was carrying furs and basket of food. Glog was the last person left, but there were still lots of things on the cave floor. Glog wondered how he was going to carry it all. He picked up the arrows, then he picked up the furs. The arrows slipped and fell. Glog was getting hot. The furs fell too. "Blah," he said. Glog picked up the furs again. Then they came so high that Glog couldn't see over the top, and he walked into the wall of the cave. Ow! The furs fell onto the floor. Glog was cross. He packed everything together again. He tied one fur full of things around his shoulders. Then he balanced the basket of arrows on his head. Glog's nose itched and he scratched and dropped the basket of arrows. He picked it all up and was ready at last. "Coming!" shouted Glog, and he hurried out of the cave. But there were nobody there. "Wombi, Mum Bum," said Glog. Then everything was quiet. Glog hurried up the hill. Glog hurried up the hill. There was nobody there. There was nobody anywhere. Glog was alone. Glog ran back down the hill. She looked for footprints, but there weren't any on the hard rocks. He listened for sounds. All he heard was birds. Glog ran. The basket of arrows and the pack on his back made him slow. Glog dropped them and ran on. He shouted, "Stop, playing!" He was so sure. As Glog ran, the sun leaped. Glog ran and ran as the day got hot. He ran far, far from his tribe's camp. The sun moved slowly across the sky. Glog stopped running when the sun began falling back to the land. He was still all on his own, and it was nearly nighttime. Glog saw a cave, but he knew that a wolf or tiger might living in the cave like that. He crept close, very quietly. A cave was big under. It smelled damp. There were bones on the floor, but there were old bones. Nothing had lived in that cave for a long time. Glog pulled up some dry grass. He took into the cave to make a bed. Then he took flints from his pouch and hit them together to make a spark to light a fire. Glog put lots of sticks on the fire to make it big and hot and bright. Glog thought how his tribe must be sitting beside the other fire somewhere out in the dark. Mamba would be cooking. Glog took the few dry berries and he had in his pouch. He ate them and he cried. It was time to sleep, but the cave was dark and empty. Glog wished he wasn't alone. He took 2 sticks from the fire. One was bright with flames. The other was burnt and black. Holding up the torch stick, Glog went into the cave. He began to draw on the wall. Glog drew himself. "Hello, Glog," he said to make himself at home. A small voice replied, "Hello, Glog." Glog jumped. "Boo," said Glog. "Boo," said the small voice. Glog smiled and picked up his stick. He drew another boy beside the Glog on the wall. "Echo," said Glog. "Echo," said the boy. Now Glog had a new friend, but he still missed his old tribe. "Good night, Echo," said Glog, and he lay down on his grass bed. Shadow. When Glog woke the next morning, he was hungry. He told the boy on the wall, "Let's hunt, then eat." Echo said the same thing back, but Glog knew that he would have to go hunting on his own. Glog had a sharp flint in his pouch. He found a good straight stick. He dug a long root from the ground. Glog spilled the end of his stick and he pushed the sharp flint into the crack. Then he wound the roots round and round to hold it all tight together. Spear. Creeping low and moving quietly, Glog went hunting. He found some berries to eat. He found some eggs in a net. He put 2 eggs in his pouch. Then Glog saw paw prints, wolf paw prints. Said Glog. A wolf might kill Glog, but if Glog could kill the wolf, He would have bones to make in the needles. A wolf might kill Glog, but if Glog could kill the wolf, he would have furs to keep him warm at night. He would have bones to make into needles and fish hooks. Glog followed the paw prints slowly. Crunch. Glog could hear something moving, breaking twigs. Glog froze too. He listened. He could hear pat, coming closer. Glog sprang up and began to run. He could hear something chasing after him. Glog turned. He saw a great big wolf coming closer and closer. All he could do is run. Glog looked for a tree to climb, but there were no trees with branches low enough to climb. The wolf was getting closer. Glog tripped. He dropped his spear. Glog fell through twigs into a deep, dark, damp hole. Glog landed bump. He looked up. The wolf was looking down. His tongue was hanging out and his teeth were big. Glog stood very, very still. He was safe, but he was stuck. The wolf's yellow eyes watched them. The sun moved high into the sky and shone down to fill the hole with light. Glog sat still and watched the wolf, and the wolf watched Glog. Glog was dirty. He was hungry. He looked at the stiff mud walls. Even if the wolf went away, Glog would never able to climb up. Puff, puff, said Glog, and he hit the walls of the hole. But there nobody to help him, only a short black shadow boy who lay down by his feet. Shadow, help, said Glog. Shadow boy didn't say anything. Next time Glog looked up, the wolf had gone. But Glog was still stuck in the hole. The sun moved across the sky. The sun moved across and down the sky. Shadow Boy grew longer. He leaned lazily against the walls of the hole. Shadow Boy grew so long he gave Glog an idea. Glog picked up the longest stick that had fallen into the hole with him. He leaned the stick against the mud wall. Glog climbed the stick. He climbed up and out of the hole. The wolf had gone. Glog ran back to his cave until skinny Shadow Boy ran with him. Shadow Boy didn't go into the dark cave with Glog, but Glog got his black stick and drew a Shadow Boy on his wall. Hello, Shadow, said Glog. Hello, Shadow, said Echo. Now Glog had 2 other boys in his new tribe. But where was his old tribe? Water Boy. Glog was very cold when he woke. He didn't have fur to sleep under. He didn't have people taking it in turns to keep the fire going while he slept. He didn't have a store of food. He didn't have anybody to go hunting with. Glog shivered. He jumped up and down, swinging his arm to make himself warm. Glog began to sing. Echo sang too, and that made Glog feel better. He picked up 2 stones and banged them onto the cave wall in time with the song and the dance. He began to feel warmer, but Glog knew that he must go out where the gray wolf gray sky was crying rain. Snick knock, said Glog. Glog ran out of his cave and got some big leaves. He twisted their stems together and he put them onto his head to keep off the rain. Then Glog took his spear and he hurried to the hunt for food. He sang as he went. Bang bang, wiggly pop, bang bang, wobble flop. Singing wasn't as much fun without Echo. It frightened away the animals and birds. Glog found a few mushrooms and he ate those. When he wanted something hot to eat, he decided to catch a fish. So Glog went to the river. He looked into the dark water, looking for a flash of fish. But what Glog saw was a boy. Hello, shivered Glog, and the other boy's mouth moved, saying hello back. Glog put a finger in the water, and the water boy's mouth face wobbled. Glog laughed. You me what? He told the boy. Glog took off his hat and his fur and he jumped into the water with water boy. Glog dived down into water and weeds. He saw something silver. Glog kept very still and held his breath. Then he shot up his hand. He caught a nice big fish. Bang, fuck a water boy, said Glog as he clocked there. Bugger! Glog put fish in his bag and ran back to his cave, dripping all the way. Glog made a fire to hit some stones. He hung out a skin full of water and put the hot stones into it. While the fish cooked, Glog drew a water boy and the fish on his wall. Glog's new tribe was getting bigger. Glog was still wet and cold, so he began to dance again. Glog sang with Echo, and he banged his drawing stick on the wall. Bang, bang, woodly pop. And suddenly there was a noise from outside the cave. Glog stopped still. Had the wolf come back? But then Glog heard singing. Fang, bang, wobble, fop. He heard shouting, Glog, Gloggy. Mom, Mom, shouted Glog, and he ran out of the cave. Wumpy! All of them were there, all wet and loud and hugging Glog. They were stamping off rain and putting their things down and enjoying the rhythm of Glog's song. Soon everyone was singing and dancing. They Then they sat together and they all ate because Mom Bum added things to Glog's cooking bag. She took other food from her bundle too. Glog ate them and felt full. When everyone was full, they talked. Glog told them a story of Glog and the wolf. Wombi had told the story about the tribe who lost a boy and went looking for him for 3 days before they found him. And of the second day of their search, they found a big wolf. They found a big wolf and killed it. Glog shared Mom Bum's fur that night, but Wombi said that soon Glog would have a fur of his own to sleep on, and he said that Glog had found the best cave anywhere for the tribe to spend the winter.